I was 70 when my own son threw me into the street like garbage, hours after his wife won $8 million using my money. But what happened next? Let's just say karma doesn't forget. Stay until the end, hit that like button, and comment what city you're watching from so I can see how far my story travels. The rain came down in sheets that November night, turning the driveway into a mirror of black glass. I stood there with my suitcase getting soaked, staring at the house I'd been paying for, the house that was now locked against me. Through the window, I could see Vanessa on her phone, laughing. Actually, laughing. My name is Eleanor Brooks, and I'm about to tell you how I lost everything and got it all back, plus interest. But first, you need to understand how I got here. How a grown woman with a college degree and 40 years of work experience ended up homeless at 67 years old, shivering in a Motel 6 parking lot at 2 in the morning. It started 3 years earlier. I remember the exact moment. I was in my kitchen, my real kitchen, in the small house I'd spent 30 years paying off, when Caleb called. My son, my only child. "Mom," his voice cracked. "We're in trouble." Those 4 words. That's all it took. "What kind of trouble, honey?" "Vanessa lost her job. The kids need new shoes. The landlord's threatening eviction." He paused. "We have nowhere to go." Now I need you to understand something. I loved my son. Past tense, intentional. I loved him the way mothers do. Blindly, desperately, without conditions. When he was born, the nurses placed him in my arms, and I made a silent promise. I would never let him struggle the way I did. My ex-husband had left us when Caleb was 2. Walked out one Tuesday morning for cigarettes and never came back. I raised that boy alone. Worked double shifts as a nurse. Skipped meals so he could eat. Wore the same coat for 15 winters. But Caleb had everything. Little League, college, a car for his 16th birthday that I bought with my tax return. So when he called that day crying, telling me his family was about to be homeless, I didn't even think twice. "Come stay with me," I said. "We'll figure it out together." "Mom, your place is too small. You've only got 2 bedrooms. "Then we'll find something bigger. We'll rent a house together. I'll help with the deposit." "I can't ask you to do that." "You're not asking. I'm offering." The silence on the other end should have been my first warning. It lasted just a beat too long. But I was too busy playing hero in my own mind to notice. "Are you sure?" he finally said. "Of course I'm sure. You're my son. Family takes care of family. Family takes care of family." I would choke on those words later. We found a 4-bedroom rental in a decent neighborhood 2 weeks later. The landlord wanted first month, last month, and security deposit. $6,300. I had been saving for a trip to Italy. My retirement gift to myself after 4 decades of bedpans and night shifts. I emptied the account without hesitation. Vanessa cried when she saw the house. Real tears streaming down her perfect makeup. She hugged me so tight I could smell her expensive perfume. "Mom Eleanor," she whispered, "I don't know what we'd do without you." Mom Eleanor. She'd never called me that before. We'd been family for 6 years by then. Caleb married her right out of college. But she usually just called me Eleanor. Sometimes nothing at all. I should have known better. I'm a nurse. I spent my career reading people, catching the little signs that something's wrong. Elevated heart rate, averted eyes, nervous laughter. But I was retired now, tired, lonely, and desperate to be needed. The first month was almost normal. Caleb looked for work. Vanessa handled the kids. Madison was 8, Tyler was 5. I cooked dinner every night. We watched movies together. It felt like the family I'd always wanted but never quite had. Then came the bills. "Mom?" Caleb knocked on my bedroom door one night. "Can we talk?" He sat on the edge of my bed, wouldn't meet my eyes. "The electric bill came. It's $400. $400? How?" "I don't know. Old house, bad insulation maybe. Thing is," he rubbed his neck, "I had a job interview fall through today. We don't have it right now. I paid it. 2 weeks later, it was the water heater. $300 for repairs. Then Madison needed braces. $3,500, even with payment plans. Then Tyler got sick and the emergency room visit wasn't covered because they'd lost their insurance when Vanessa lost her job. Every time, Caleb came to me with those puppy dog eyes. Every time, Vanessa cried and said it was temporary. Every time, I said yes. My savings account started bleeding. Slowly at first, then faster. I'm looking every day, Caleb promised over breakfast one morning. I've got applications everywhere. What about you? I asked Vanessa. Have you been looking? She smiled, patient, like I was a child who didn't understand. Someone needs to be here for the kids, Mom Eleanor. And honestly, childcare costs more than I'd make anyway. It doesn't make financial sense. It made perfect sense to her. I was the free childcare. I was the free everything. But I told myself it was temporary. Families help each other. This is what mothers do. The turning point came 6 months in. I was doing laundry, their laundry, because somehow that had become my job too, when I found the receipt in Vanessa's jeans pocket. Sephora, $347. My hands shook as I held it. We'd had peanut butter sandwiches for dinner the night before because money was tight. I'd been buying the cheapest coffee, the generic cereal, skipping my own prescriptions to make sure there was enough. And she'd spent $347 on makeup. I confronted her that night, calmly, respectfully. Vanessa, I found this receipt. I thought we were being careful with money right now. She didn't even blink. Oh, that. I won a gift card at a raffle. Might as well use it before it expires, right? A gift card? Yeah, why? Her eyes went wide, innocent. Did you think I spent actual money? Mom Eleanor, I would never. Not when you're helping us so much. I wanted to believe her, desperately, so I did. 3 months later, I got a call from the mortgage company on my old house, the one I'd left to move in with them. I'd been renting it out to cover the mortgage while I lived in this rental. Miss Brooks, we haven't received payment in 90 days. My stomach dropped. That's impossible. My tenant pays me directly, but I hadn't checked. I'd been so consumed with Caleb's family that I'd let everything else slide. Turns out my tenant had stopped paying 2 months after I moved out. They were gone now. Disappeared. And I owed $8,000 in back payments plus late fees. I had $1,700 in my checking account. I sat Caleb and Vanessa down that night. I need to talk to you both about something serious. Vanessa's face went soft with concern. She reached across the table and took my hand. What's wrong? I'm in trouble financially. The tenant situation, all the expenses here. I've been covering everything and I'm running out of money. Oh no, Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. This is all my fault. I'm such a burden. No, that's not. I am. I know I am. I've been so depressed, Mom Eleanor. So anxious. I can barely get out of bed some days. I think I need help, professional help. But therapy is so expensive and just like that, she turned it around. Suddenly, I was the bad guy for bringing up money when she was suffering. Caleb put his arm around her, shot me a look that said, "See what you've done?" "We'll figure it out, Mom," he said quietly. "Maybe you could pick up some shifts? I know you're retired, but I'm 65 years old, Caleb." I know. I'm just trying to think of solutions. The solutions, apparently, involved me, never them. I went back to work part-time at the hospital. 3 12-hour shifts a week, on my feet the whole time, my knees screaming. I was the oldest nurse on the floor. The young ones felt sorry for me. I could see it in their eyes. The money helped, barely. Then came the real crisis. Vanessa's mother got sick, cancer, stage 4. "I need to go be with her," Vanessa sobbed at the kitchen table. "But the flights, the hotel, we don't have anything saved and I can't ask you for more. I just can't." But she was asking, without asking. That's what she did. She created the emergency and waited for me to solve it. "How much do you need?" "I don't know, maybe $3,000 for 2 weeks?" I pulled it from my retirement account, the one I swore I wouldn't touch. She was gone for 3 weeks. When she came back, tanned and relaxed, she showed me pictures of her mom, who looked healthy, smiling at a restaurant, playing with the grandkids. She rallied, Vanessa explained. It was a miracle. The doctors can't explain it. I didn't say anything. What could I say? 2 years passed like this. Death by 1,000 cuts. Every bill came to me, every emergency, every crisis, every unexpected expense. The kids needed school supplies. The car broke down. The washing machine died. Always something. Always me writing the check. I stopped buying new clothes. Stopped going out with friends. My own bills piled up. I ignored calls from creditors. And through it all, Vanessa posted on social media pictures of family dinners I cooked, the kids opening presents I bought, her smiling in new outfits, new jewelry, new everything. #blessed, she'd write, #family first. I was the family, I was the blessing, and I was drowning. Then one Tuesday afternoon, everything changed. I came home from a shift at the hospital to find Vanessa screaming in the kitchen, actually screaming. Madison and Tyler were hiding in their room. What happened? I dropped my bag. She shoved her phone in my face. Her hands were shaking. I won. Oh my God, I won. Won what? The lottery? The lottery? $8 million. Oh my God. Oh my God. The floor tilted under me. What? I bought a ticket this morning when I got gas, as a joke. I never play. But I just had this feeling and... She grabbed my shoulders. $8 million, Mom Eleanor. We're rich. We're actually rich. Caleb came running from the bedroom. She jumped into his arms. They spun around, laughing, crying. I stood there, frozen. This is insane, Caleb breathed. This is actually insane. We can pay you back, Vanessa said, turning to me. Her eyes were bright, wild. Everything you've done for us, we can finally pay you back. Relief flooded through me. Finally. Finally, it was over. I need to call the lottery office, Vanessa said. Oh God, I need to claim it. When do I claim it? How does this work? She disappeared into the bedroom with her phone. I could hear her through the wall, talking to someone official, laughing, that high, manic laugh. Caleb hugged me. Mom, this is it. Everything's going to be okay now. I believed him. I actually believed him. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed thinking about all the things I could finally do. Pay off my mortgage, fix my car, maybe still take that trip to Italy. I'd be okay now. We'd all be okay. Around 2 a.m., I heard voices. Angry whispers from Caleb and Vanessa's room. I shouldn't have listened, but I crept to the door. Not fair to her, Caleb was saying. After everything she's done, are you serious right now? Vanessa's voice was sharp, cold, nothing like the sweet tone she used with me. She volunteered. Nobody forced her. She's my mother. And she's been holding it over our heads for 3 years. Every time she pays for something, I see it in her eyes. The judgment, the resentment. My heart stopped. That's not true, Caleb said weakly. It is true. She thinks we're using her. Well, guess what? We don't need her anymore. We don't need anyone anymore. Silence. What are you saying? Caleb asked. I'm saying we're millionaires now. We can get our own place, a big place. Just us, the 4 of us. Vanessa, don't Vanessa me. You know I'm right. She's exhausting, Caleb. Always there, always watching, always making me feel like I'm not good enough. This is our chance to finally have our own life. She gave up everything for us. And now she can have it all back. We'll pay her what we owe and move on. Clean slate. I pressed my hand over my mouth to keep from making a sound. I don't know, Caleb said. I do. Trust me on this. It's better for everyone. I went back to my room, didn't sleep at all. The next morning, Vanessa was sweet as pie. Made me coffee, asked about my shift at the hospital, acted like nothing had changed. But I saw it now. The mask. The performance. I'd been so stupid, so blind. That afternoon, Vanessa went to claim the lottery money. Came back 6 hours later with lawyers and financial advisors and all these official-looking people in suits. They're helping me set everything up, she explained. Trusts and accounts and all that. It's so complicated. One of the lawyers pulled me aside. Ms. Brooks, I understand you've been supporting the family. Yes, for about 3 years now. We'll want to discuss repayment arrangements. Get you made whole. Do you have documentation, receipts, bank statements? Hope flickered. Yes, I keep records. Good. We'll be in touch. They left. Vanessa was on the phone immediately, talking to real estate agents, looking at houses, big houses, houses that cost more than I'd make in 10 lifetimes. A week passed, then 2. The lawyer never called. I tried asking Vanessa about it. Hey, that lawyer mentioned we'd discuss the repayment? Oh, right. Yeah, he's working on it. These things take time, apparently. So much paperwork. Another week, I asked again. Mom Eleanor, please. I'm stressed enough as it is. The money's not even in my account yet. Can we just not? I stopped asking. 3 weeks after the win, Vanessa and Caleb found their dream house, 6,000 square feet, pool, home theater, guest house. You could live in the guest house, Vanessa suggested over dinner. If you want. If I want. It's got its own entrance, she continued. Very private. You'd love it. The guest house. After 3 years of supporting them, I'd earned a guest house. I'll think about it, I said. That night I heard them again. Through the walls. She's never going to leave, Vanessa hissed. We're going to be stuck with her forever. What do you want me to do? Tell her she can't come. Tell her we need space. Tell her anything. She's my mother, and I'm your wife. Choose. The silence that followed told me everything. He chose her. He'd always choose her. The next morning, Caleb sat me down, wouldn't look me in the eye. Mom, we need to talk about living arrangements. My chest went tight. Okay. The new house, it's a fresh start for us, for our little family, and we think it would be better if... He couldn't even say it. Vanessa had no such problem. She walked in, crossed her arms. We think you should get your own place, Mom Eleanor. We're grateful for everything, obviously, but we need our independence back. I see. We'll help you move. First month's rent on a new apartment or whatever. First month's rent, after I'd given them hundreds of thousands of dollars. When? I asked quietly. Well, we close on the house in 2 weeks, so... 2 weeks. They were giving me 2 weeks. I understand. I went to my room, started packing. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely fold clothes. That night, I couldn't take it anymore. I knocked on their door. Can we please talk about the money you owe me? Vanessa's face went hard. Owe you? Yes, 3 years of rent, bills, food, medical expenses. You offered, she cut me off. We never asked for any of that. You're joking. We're not. You volunteered. You wanted to help. We didn't force you. I looked at Caleb. You're really going to let her say that? He looked at the floor, said nothing. You know what? Vanessa stood up. I'm tired of this. We're done being guilted. The money's mine. I want it, and we don't owe you anything. I paid for this house. I'm still on the lease. She smiled. Actually, funny story. I talked to the landlord yesterday, paid the lease off through the end of the year, and he agreed to take you off it. So legally, you're not a tenant here anymore. The room spun. You can't do that. I already did. You have until the end of the week to get out. Caleb, my voice broke. Please. He still wouldn't look at me. Caleb. I think it's for the best, Mom, he whispered. Vanessa's right. We need space. I'd given them 3 years. My savings. My retirement. My health. And they needed space. That was 4 days ago. Now I'm standing in this motel room, staring at my suitcase. Everything I own fits in 2 bags. I'm 67 years old, and I have $800 in my checking account. My phone buzzed. Facebook notification. Vanessa had posted a photo. Her and Caleb in front of their new house. Madison and Tyler holding a sold sign. The caption, "Dreams really do come true. So blessed that Mom Eleanor gifted us this beautiful home after her lottery win. #generosity wins, #family. First hashtag, new beginnings." I read it 3 times. She was telling everyone I won the lottery, that I gave them the house, that I was the rich one. Comments poured in, friends congratulating me on my generosity, relatives I hadn't heard from in years suddenly interested. My hand shook as I typed, "This isn't true. I didn't win anything. But what was the point? Who would believe me? I deleted the comment before posting, lay down on the rough motel bedspread. And finally, after 3 years of holding it together, I cried. I cried until my ribs ached, until my eyes swelled shut, until I had nothing left. Then I got up, washed my face, because something had shifted in that moment, something cold and clear. They'd taken everything from me, my money, my dignity, my son. But they'd made one mistake. I'm a nurse. I document everything, every shift, every patient, every medication. It's drilled into us. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. I pulled out my laptop, opened my files, 3 years of bank statements, every withdrawal, every payment, every receipt. I had it all, organized by month, by category. Rent, $72,000. Utilities, $18,000. Food, $26,000. Medical, $41,000. Miscellaneous, $38,000. $195,000. Not counting the mortgage on my old house that I'd lost, or my retirement accounts that I'd drained, but the receipts, the paper trail, that was solid. I pulled up the photo of the lottery ticket Vanessa had posted online, zoomed in, the date, the time, the gas station. Something tickled at the back of my mind. I opened my bank statements, found that date. There it was, a charge at that exact gas station. $73 on my debit card. My debit card that I'd given Vanessa to get gas because Caleb's credit card wasn't working. The lottery ticket had been purchased with my money. My money. I sat back, stared at the screen. Then I smiled for the first time in weeks. Because Vanessa had just made her second mistake. She'd underestimated me. I picked up my phone, started searching for lawyers. Not the expensive ones downtown, the hungry ones. The ones who work on contingency because they smell blood in the water. Found one with decent reviews and a website that promised, "We fight for the little guy." Called the number. A woman answered. "Hale and Associates." "Yes, hi. My name is Eleanor Brooks and I need to sue my daughter-in-law for fraud, financial exploitation, and theft." "Okay, can you tell me more?" So I did. All of it. Every detail. When I finished, there was a pause. "Ms. Brooks, I'm going to transfer you to Victor Hale. He's going to want to hear this himself." A man came on the line, deep voice, all business. "Ms. Brooks, tell me about this lottery ticket." I told him about the receipt, the bank statement, the photo. Another pause. "Do you have proof the card was yours?" "Yes, my name's on the account." "And you can prove she used it that day?" "The transaction's right here." "Ms. Brooks, if what you're telling me is accurate, that lottery ticket legally belongs to you. The winnings would be considered your property purchased with your funds." My heart hammered. "Are you sure?" "I've handled 3 lottery cases. 2 of them hinged on exactly this issue. If you can prove she bought that ticket with your money, we have a case, a strong case." "What do I need to do?" "Come to my office tomorrow. Bring every document you have, every receipt, every bank statement, every text message. We're going to bury her." I hung up, looked around the motel room, and started laughing. Because they'd thrown me away like garbage. They'd humiliated me, betrayed me, stolen from me. But they'd left a trail, a stupid, arrogant, documented trail. And I was about to follow it straight to their door. Tomorrow, the real fight would begin. Tonight, I slept better than I had in 3 years. Victor Hale's office wasn't what I expected. No marble floors or fancy artwork. Just a cramped second-floor walk-up above a faux restaurant, the smell of beef broth seeping through the floorboards. The waiting room had 3 chairs and a dying plant, but the woman at the front desk looked at me like I mattered. "Ms. Brooks, Victor's ready for you." He was younger than he sounded on the phone, maybe 45. Tie loosened, sleeves rolled up, the kind of tired that comes from caring too much. "Sit." He gestured to a chair across from his desk, which was buried under files. "Coffee?" "No, thank you." "Smart. It's terrible." He poured himself a cup anyway. "So, let's see what we're working with." I spread everything across his desk. 3 years of bank statements, receipts in a manila folder organized by date, screenshots of Vanessa's social media posts, the photo of the lottery ticket, my own credit card statement showing the gas station charge. Victor put on reading glasses, started going through it all, didn't say a word for 20 minutes. Finally, he sat back. "Holy shit. Is that good or bad?" "It's beautiful. It's a prosecutor's wet dream." He tapped the gas station receipt. "This right here, this is everything. She bought a lottery ticket with your debit card, correct?" "Yes. I gave her the card that morning because Caleb's was declined. She said she'd just get gas. And you have the card statement showing the $73 charge. Right here. The timestamp on the lottery ticket matches the transaction. I'd checked 3 times. Within 2 minutes. Ms. Brooks, in the state we're in, lottery winnings are considered property. If someone purchases a winning ticket with another person's funds without permission, those winnings legally belong to the person whose money was used. He leaned forward. We can argue constructive fraud, unjust enrichment, possibly theft by deception. My hands were shaking. Can we win? Can we? Yes. Will we? That depends on her lawyers and how dirty they want to fight. He flipped through the bank statements again. But this documentation is solid. You're a meticulous record keeper. I'm a nurse. It's habit. That habit just became your best weapon. He pulled out a legal pad. Walk me through the whole relationship, from the beginning, every detail you can remember. So I did. Again. All of it. The way she cried when she needed money, the emergencies that always came at exactly the right moment, the gifts she gave herself while claiming we were broke, the lies about her mother's cancer. Wait, Victor held up a hand. Her mother's cancer. You said she looked healthy in the photos? Completely healthy, at restaurants, playing with the kids. Do you still have those photos? I pulled up Facebook on my phone, found Vanessa's post from that trip. Here, Victor zoomed in. This was tagged in Miami. You said she told you her mom was in hospice? Not hospice, just very sick. Needed her there. Ms. Brooks, I'm going to be blunt. This looks like a pattern of deception, a long-term con. He scrolled through more of her posts. She's been living well, designer bags, nice restaurants, all while claiming poverty to you. I know. Did Caleb know about the spending? That was the question that kept me up at night. I don't know. He never said anything. But he had to know. Willful blindness is still a choice. Victor made notes. Here's what I need from you. I want names of everyone who witnessed you making payments. Landlords, utility companies, hospitals. Anyone who can testify that you were the one supporting the household. The landlord, definitely. I wrote all the rent checks. Good. We'll subpoena financial records from the rental property. Build a timeline of payments. He looked up. This is going to get ugly. You understand that? Vanessa's going to fight. She's got 8 million reasons to fight hard. I know. She's going to smear you, call you vindictive, claim you're lying, say you gave the money freely as gifts. Let her. Something in my voice made him pause. You're angry. I'm furious. Good. Use that. He stood up. We'll file a civil lawsuit first. Sue for the full amount of money you can document, plus the lottery winnings. I'll draft a complaint this week. Once we file, everything becomes public record. The media might pick it up. Are you prepared for that? Will it help our case? It might. Public pressure can be a useful tool. Then I'm prepared. Victor smiled. Not a friendly smile. A hunter's smile. I like you, Ms. Brooks. You've got spine. He walked me to the door. One more thing. Do not contact them. No calls, no texts, no showing up at their house. Anything you say can be twisted and used against you. Understood? Understood. Good. I'll be in touch within 48 hours. I left his office feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real hope. That hope lasted exactly 16 hours. I was at the motel trying to figure out how to afford another week's rent when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Eleanor Brooks? A woman's voice, professional, cold. Yes? This is Amanda Chen from Chen & Partners. I represent Vanessa Brooks. I'm calling to inform you that if you pursue any legal action against my client, we will countersue for harassment, defamation, and emotional distress. My stomach dropped. How did you... My client was notified that you consulted with an attorney. We're prepared to fight any frivolous claims. Frivolous? She stole from me. According to my client, you willingly provided financial support as gifts to family members. No repayment was ever discussed or agreed upon. You have no legal standing. I have receipts, bank statements, proof that she... Ms. Brooks, let me be clear. My client has resources now, significant resources. We can tie you up in court for years, drain whatever money you have left, make your life very difficult. Her voice softened slightly. Or you can accept reality and move on. My client is willing to offer you $20,000 as a goodwill gesture. Take it and sign an NDA. This ends quietly. 20,000? I gave them nearly 200,000. 20,000 is generous considering you have no legal claim. You have 48 hours to decide. She hung up. I sat there, phone in my hand, shaking with rage. They'd already lawyered up, already prepared their defense, already tried to buy my silence. I called Victor. They offered me 20,000 to go away. Did you take it? Are you insane? No. Good. That offer tells me they're scared. They wouldn't try to settle unless they thought we had a case. I heard papers shuffling. Forward me the call details. I want to know who their lawyer is. Amanda Chen, Chen and Partners. Victor laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, this is perfect. What? Amanda Chen is expensive, like $1,000 an hour expensive. If Vanessa hired her, she's terrified. Chen doesn't take small cases. So what do? We file. Tomorrow. I was going to wait until next week, but if they want to play hardball, we'll hit first and hit hard. The lawsuit was filed 36 hours later. Victor called me from the courthouse steps. It's done. Filed a complaint for $200,000 in documented expenses, plus the $8 million in lottery winnings. Also added claims for elder financial abuse and fraud. Elder abuse? You're over 65. Special protections apply. If we can prove she deliberately exploited you, there are criminal implications. Criminal. The word sent a chill through me. What happens now? Now we wait for them to respond, and we start building our case. That night, my phone exploded. Text after text after text. All from people I barely knew. Cousins I hadn't spoken to in decades, old coworkers, random acquaintances. Is it true you're suing Vanessa? I saw the court filing online. What's going on? Why would you do this to your own family? Vanessa had gotten ahead of the story, posted something on Facebook. I pulled it up with trembling hands. Heartbroken today. After everything we've been through, Eleanor has decided to sue us, claiming we owe her for money she freely gave as gifts. We never asked for her help. She insisted. And now that we're finally stable, she wants to tear us apart. Please keep our family in your thoughts during this difficult time. Hashtag family betrayal. Hashtag pray for us. The comments were vicious. Ungrateful old woman. She gave you money and now wants it back? That's disgusting. I always knew Eleanor was controlling. My own relatives were turning on me. People who'd known me for 50 years, believing her lies without question. I wanted to respond, defend myself. But I remembered Victor's words, don't engage. I turned my phone off, threw it across the room. Then I broke down. Again. Harder this time. Because this was what losing looked like. Not just money, not just family, but your entire reputation, your history, everything you'd built over a lifetime, destroyed in a single Facebook post. The next morning, I went to my old house, the one I'd lost to foreclosure. Someone else owned it now. A young couple with a baby. They'd painted the shutters blue, put up a swing set in the backyard where I used to grow tomatoes. I sat in my car across the street and just stared. That house represented 30 years of my life. Every mortgage payment, every repair I'd saved for, every memory of raising Caleb there, gone, because I'd been too stupid to protect myself. My phone rang. I'd turned it back on. Victor. We got their response. Already? They fast-tracked it, probably trying to intimidate us. Eleanor, they're claiming you have dementia. The world tilted. What? Their response alleges that you're experiencing cognitive decline, that you're confused about events, that the money was gifts you've now forgotten giving. That's insane. It's strategy. If they can paint you as unreliable or mentally unfit, it undermines your entire case. He paused. We need to fight this. I'm scheduling a cognitive evaluation. Independent doctor will prove you're sharp as a tack. This is really happening. This is really happening, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. He wasn't kidding. 2 days later, Vanessa filed a restraining order, claimed I'd been driving by their new house, making threatening calls, harassing her children. All lies. Complete lies. But the judge granted a temporary order anyway. I was legally prohibited from going within 500 feet of any of them. I couldn't even see my grandchildren. That night, I got a message from Madison. Vanessa must have let her use her phone. "Grandma, why are you being mean to Mommy? She's crying all the time now. She said you hate us." I stared at those words until they blurred. What could I say? How could I explain to an 8-year-old that her mother was a monster? That I was fighting for my survival? I didn't respond, couldn't. The cognitive evaluation happened the following week. 3 hours of tests. Memory games. Math problems. Questions about current events. The doctor was kind. Older woman with gentle eyes. "Ms. Brooks, I'm going to be honest with you. You're performing better than most people half your age. So I'm not losing my mind." "Not even close. Your memory is excellent. Processing speed is above average. No signs of cognitive impairment whatsoever." She closed her folder. "Between us? I think someone's trying to play you. Don't let them." I could have kissed her. Victor filed the evaluation results immediately. "This destroys their dementia angle. They'll have to try something else." "What else is there?" "Anything. Everything. We're dealing with $8 million. People do terrible things for that kind of money." The next attack came from a direction I didn't expect. An old friend from the hospital called me. "Janet. We'd worked together for 20 years. Eleanor, I need to ask you something." "Okay." "Did you really tell Vanessa you'd forgive all the money if she named Madison's baby after you?" My blood went cold. "What?" "That's what she's telling people, that you promised to drop the lawsuit if they named their next child Eleanor, and when they refused, you got vindictive." "Janet, I never said that. I never said anything like that." "I didn't think so, but people are talking. It's spreading." Another lie. Another manipulation. I called Victor. "She's making up stories, telling people I tried to buy naming rights to a baby." "Let her. Every lie is another thread we can pull. The more she talks, the more chances she has to contradict herself." He sounded energized. "Discovery starts next week. We're going to get access to all her financial records, bank statements, credit card bills, everything." "What are we looking for?" "Evidence that she was spending money while claiming poverty to you. Evidence of the lifestyle she was actually living." He paused. "Eleanor, this is when cases are won or lost, in the details, the paperwork. Are you ready?" "I've been ready." Discovery was a revelation. Vanessa's credit card statements came back first. Page after page of charges. Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Tiffany, Sephora. Thousands of dollars, tens of thousands. All during the time she was crying to me about not being able to afford groceries. "Look at this." Victor pointed to a charge. $500 at a spa. Same day she told you Tyler needed emergency dental work and asked you for $300. The evidence piled up. Vacation charges in Miami when she claimed to be visiting her dying mother. Hotel stays, first-class flights, rental cars. "She wasn't visiting her sick mother," I whispered. "She was on vacation. Spring break vacation, looks like." Victor highlighted another section. "Here's the hotel, 5-star resort, infinity pool, beachfront." I felt sick. I was eating ramen, skipping my blood pressure medication, and she was at a resort. This is what we needed. Proof of deception, proof that the poverty was manufactured. He kept scrolling. "And look at this. Regular charges to a nail salon, hair salon, personal trainer, while claiming she was too depressed to work." Exactly. But the smoking gun came 3 days later. Caleb's text messages. Victor had subpoenaed phone records. We couldn't get the content without a criminal investigation, but we got timestamps and recipients. There was a pattern. Every time Vanessa asked me for money, Caleb had texted her within the hour before. "He was coaching her," Victor said, "telling her when to hit you up. Look, here's a cluster of texts the morning before she asked you for the Miami trip money." He knew. He absolutely knew. He was in on it the whole time. Victor looked at me, really looked at me. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I need to know the truth." But it hurt. It hurt worse than anything Vanessa had done. Because my son, my baby, the boy I'd sacrificed everything for, he'd helped destroy me. The deposition was scheduled for 2 weeks later. Vanessa would have to answer questions under oath. "Prepare yourself," Victor warned. "She's going to lie. But that's okay. We want her to lie. Every lie is perjury. Every contradiction is ammunition." I spent those 2 weeks in a fog, barely eating, barely sleeping. The motel manager knocked on my door one morning. "Ms. Brooks, you okay in there?" "I'm fine." "You paid through Friday. Just wanted to make sure you knew." I'd forgotten. I checked my bank account. $312 left. I couldn't afford another week. That afternoon, I went to the hospital, asked if they had any shifts available. "Eleanor?" The nursing supervisor hugged me. "We heard about everything. I'm so sorry." Word traveled fast in hospitals. "I need work. Anything." "Honey, you look exhausted." "I'm fine. I just need to work." She put me on the schedule. 3 shifts that week. My knees screamed the entire time. My back seized up during the second shift. I dropped a bedpan and almost cried. But I made $800. Enough for another 2 weeks at the motel. The deposition happened in a conference room at Amanda Chen's office. Marble floors, original artwork, water with cucumber slices. Vanessa showed up in a designer dress, hair perfect, makeup flawless. She looked at me once, just once, then turned away like I was a stranger. Amanda Chen started the questioning. Victor sat beside me, taking notes. "Mrs. Brooks, can you describe your relationship with Eleanor Brooks?" "She's my mother-in-law, or was. I considered her family." Vanessa's voice was soft, sad. "I loved her very much." "And how would you characterize the financial arrangement between you?" "There was no arrangement. Eleanor offered to help us when we were struggling. We never asked. She insisted." "Did you ever agree to repay her?" "No. She said it was a gift. That family helps family." Victor wrote something down, slid it to me. Let her talk. "Mrs. Brooks, can you explain the lottery ticket purchase?" "I bought it with my own money at a gas station near our house." "You didn't use Eleanor's debit card?" "No, I used cash." First lie under oath. "Do you have any receipts showing this cash purchase?" I threw the receipt away. Why would I keep a receipt for a $2 lottery ticket? "But you kept the winning ticket." "Well, yes, of course." Victor leaned forward. "Mrs. Brooks, you claim you used cash, but we have a bank statement showing a charge to that exact gas station on Eleanor's debit card at the exact time the ticket was purchased. Can you explain that?" Vanessa's face went tight. "I used her card for gas. The lottery ticket was separate." "2 transactions at the same time?" "Yes." "That seems unusual." "I don't know what to tell you. That's what happened." Victor pulled out a document. "This is the gas station's transaction log. We subpoenaed it. There was only 1 transaction on Eleanor's card that day. $73. That's a full tank of gas plus a lottery ticket, not 2 separate transactions." Vanessa's lawyer jumped in. "My client has already answered the question." "Your client has already committed perjury," Victor shot back. The room went cold. "We'll move on," Amanda said quickly. But the damage was done. Vanessa was rattled. Her perfect composure cracked. The rest of the deposition was brutal. Victor took her through every charge on her credit cards, every vacation, every spa day, made her explain each one while claiming poverty. "This charge at Tiffany's, $1,500. What was that for?" "A gift for Caleb's birthday." "While you were telling Eleanor you couldn't afford Tyler's medication?" "I don't recall the exact timing. The charges are 3 days apart." Vanessa's hands clenched. "I don't remember." "You don't remember spending $1,500? "It was a difficult time. Everything blurs together." Victor smiled. "I'm sure it does." By the end, Vanessa was sweating through her designer dress. Her makeup streaked. She looked like what she was, a cornered animal. When it was over, Victor walked me to the elevator. "How did I do?" I asked. "You didn't have to do anything. She hung herself." He pressed the button. "We've got her. The perjury about the lottery ticket alone is huge. Add in the evidence of her spending, the pattern of deception. Eleanor, I think we're going to win this." The elevator doors opened. "Don't celebrate yet," I said. "They're not going to give up $8 million without a fight." "No, but they're going to wish they had." That night, I allowed myself to hope, really hope. Maybe I'd get my money back. Maybe I'd get justice. Maybe I'd even get my dignity back. But I was wrong about one thing. The fight wasn't over. It was about to get so much worse. The call came at 3 in the morning. I was half asleep when my phone buzzed. Unknown number again. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Heavy breathing. Then a woman's voice, slurred, drunk or high, I couldn't tell. You ruined everything. Vanessa. Everything. Do you understand that? You destroyed my family. I sat up, heart pounding. Vanessa, you shouldn't be calling me. The restraining order works both ways. I don't care about this stupid order. I don't care about any of it anymore. She laughed, bitter, broken. You want to know the truth? The real truth? What are you talking about? I never loved him. Your precious son. I never loved any of you. Her words came faster now. You were a meal ticket, that's all. A pathetic old woman so desperate to be needed that you'd give away everything. It was almost too easy. Something in her voice made my blood run cold. This wasn't the polished Vanessa from the deposition. This was someone unraveling. You're drunk. I'm honest. For the first time in years, I'm being honest. She laughed again. You want to sue me? Fine. Take it all. Take every penny. See if I care. At least I won't have to pretend anymore. Pretend what? That I'm happy. That this is what I wanted. That $8 million makes up for being married to a spineless coward who can't even defend his own mother. Her voice cracked. You know what's funny? I actually feel sorry for you. Because you loved him. Really loved him. And he let me destroy you without saying a word. The line went dead. I sat there in the dark, shaking, not from fear, from rage. Because she was right. Caleb had let her do it, every single thing. He'd watched and said nothing. I called Victor at 7 a.m. Vanessa called me last night, drunk, admitted she used me. Please tell me you recorded it. No, I didn't think. It's okay. Document everything she said while it's fresh. Write it down word for word. He paused. This is good, actually. She's cracking. The pressure's getting to her. She said she never loved Caleb, that we were just meal tickets. Eleanor, people say terrible things when they're cornered. Don't let it get to you. But it already had. That morning, I went back to my old neighborhood, the one where I'd lived before all of this started, where I'd raised Caleb, where I'd been happy once. Mrs. Patterson was outside watering her roses. She'd been my neighbor for 30 years. Eleanor! She dropped the hose and rushed over. Sweetheart, I heard what happened. I've been trying to call you. I changed my number. I don't blame you. She took my hands. That girl. That horrible girl. I never trusted her. Never. You didn't? Not for a second. Always so sweet when people were watching. But I saw her. The way she looked at Caleb when she thought no one was paying attention. Like he was something she had to tolerate. Mrs. Patterson squeezed my hands. I should have said something. I'm so sorry I didn't. It wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have listened. Love makes us stupid sometimes. She pulled me into a hug. But you're fighting back now. That takes courage. I cried on her shoulder. This woman who barely knew me anymore, who had no reason to care, holding me while I fell apart in her driveway. Come inside, she said. Let me make you coffee. Real coffee, not that motel garbage. Her kitchen smelled like cinnamon and memories. We sat at her table and she told me about the neighborhood, who'd moved, who'd died. Normal things that felt like a different universe. How's the case going? She asked. We're winning, I think. The evidence is strong. Good. Take them for everything. She refilled my cup. You know what burns me up? People defending her, saying you're just bitter, just jealous, like you're the villain here. That's what she wants them to think. Well, some of us know better. Some of us remember who you really are. She looked at me over her glasses. You're the woman who organized the neighborhood food drive every Thanksgiving, who sat with my husband when he was dying so I could sleep, who never asked for anything from anyone. Don't you dare let them rewrite your history. I hadn't thought about it like that. That Vanessa wasn't just stealing my money. She was stealing my story, my reputation, the person I'd spent a lifetime being. Thank you, I whispered. Don't thank me. Just win. The next development came from an unexpected source. Victor called me 2 days later, excited. Eleanor, we got something. Something big. What? Vanessa's medical records. We subpoenaed them as part of discovery. Remember how she claimed she was too depressed to work? Yes. She never saw a therapist, never got a prescription for antidepressants, Never had a single documented mental health visit during those 3 years. My mouth fell open. She lied about being depressed? Completely fabricated it. Used it as an excuse not to work while you supported the family. This is medical fraud. This is huge. Can we use it? Absolutely. It goes to pattern of deception. Shows premeditation. A jury is going to crucify her for this. But the biggest bomb dropped the following week. I was at the motel trying to decide between paying for another week or buying groceries when someone knocked on my door. A man in a suit. Too young to be a process server. Too polished to be from the motel. Eleanor Brooks? Yes? My name is David Chen. I'm Amanda Chen's brother. Can I come in? Every instinct screamed no, but curiosity won. What do you want? He stepped inside, looked around at my pathetic little room, and something in his face shifted. I came to tell you something. Something that could destroy my sister's career if she knew I was here. I'm listening. Amanda's planning to withdraw from the case. She knows it's unwinnable, but she can't just quit. Vanessa paid her a massive retainer, so Amanda's going to sabotage it. What do you mean, sabotage? Miss deadlines, file incorrect paperwork, make it look like Vanessa's being poorly represented so she can sue Amanda for malpractice instead of facing you in court. He pulled out his phone. I have emails, proof. Amanda's planning to tank the whole thing. Why are you telling me this? Because my sister is a lot of things, but she used to have ethics, used to care about the law. Now she just cares about money. He looked at me. And because what Vanessa did to you is disgusting. My grandmother raised me after my parents died. If someone treated her the way Vanessa treated you, I'd burn their life down. I took the phone, read the emails. He was right. Amanda was planning to destroy her own case. What do you want me to do with this? Give it to your lawyer. File a complaint with the Bar Association. I don't care. I just want her stopped. You know this will ruin her. Maybe she deserves to be ruined. He headed for the door. Oh, and Miss Brooks? My grandmother always said the best revenge is living well. Hope you get the chance to prove that. He left. I stood there holding evidence that would blow up Vanessa's entire defense. I called Victor immediately. Holy shit, he breathed when I sent him the emails. This is unethical on about 15 different levels. If we report this, Amanda loses her license. Do it. Eleanor, do it. I'm done playing nice. She threatened to destroy me in court. She tried to bury me in legal fees. She called me a liar and a cheat. Now she's planning to commit malpractice to help her client escape justice? My voice was steel. Burn her. Victor was quiet for a moment. You've changed. I've learned. The bar complaint was filed that afternoon. Amanda Chen's career exploded within 48 hours. Local news picked up the story. Prominent attorney accused of deliberately sabotaging client case. The legal community was in an uproar. And Vanessa? Vanessa was suddenly without representation. She tried to find another lawyer, but word spread fast in legal circles. What lawyer wants to take a case that's already compromised? That's already national news? That everyone knows is built on lies? Nobody would touch her. Victor filed a motion to accelerate the trial. With no attorney to represent her, Vanessa would have to defend herself or settle. She chose to defend herself. Big mistake. The pretrial hearing was a disaster for her. She showed up without proper documentation, didn't understand basic legal procedures. The judge got frustrated within the first 10 minutes. Ms. Brooks, do you have counsel? I'm representing myself, Your Honor. I can see that. Do you understand the implications? I understand I don't need a lawyer to tell the truth. The judge looked at her over his glasses. Ms. Brooks, this is a complex civil case involving substantial sums of money and allegations of fraud. I strongly advise you to retain counsel. I can't afford it. You won $8 million. Most of it's tied up in trusts and investments. I don't have liquid cash. Victor leaned over to me. She's lying. You can't set up that many trusts that fast. She's hiding money. The judge seemed to agree. We'll revisit this at trial. Motion to accelerate is granted. Trial date set for 6 weeks from today. 6 weeks? In 6 weeks, I'd face her in court. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I felt exhausted. That night, Tyler called me. Vanessa must have given him my new number. Grandma? His little voice broke my heart. Tyler, baby, how are you? I miss you. Why can't you come see us anymore? How do you explain legal battles to a 5-year-old? It's complicated, sweetheart. Mommy says you're mad at us. Are you mad at me? No, never. I could never be mad at you. Then why won't you come to my birthday party? It's next week and Mommy said you're not allowed. I closed my eyes, breathed. I want to be there, more than anything, but sometimes grown-ups have fights and it makes things hard. I don't want you to fight. I want you to come home. I know, baby, I know. Vanessa grabbed the phone. That's enough. Let me talk to him. No, you made your choice. You chose money over family. You kicked me out, Vanessa. You stole from me. I stole nothing. You gave it freely. And now you're trying to destroy us because you regret it. Her voice dropped to a hiss. You'll never see these kids again. Even if you win, even if you take every penny, I will make sure they hate you for the rest of your life. The line went dead. I threw the phone across the room, watched it shatter against the wall. Then I picked up the pieces and cried, because she was right. Even if I won the money back, I'd lost my grandchildren. They'd grow up thinking I abandoned them, thinking I chose greed over love. The next morning, I went to Target, bought Tyler a birthday present, a Lego set he'd been wanting, wrapped it myself, drove to their new house despite the restraining order, left it on the porch with a card. Happy birthday, Tyler. Grandma loves you, always. I was back in my car when Vanessa came out, saw the present, picked it up, and threw it in the trash. I watched her do it, watched her drag the trash can to the curb, make sure I saw. Then she went inside and closed the door. Something broke in me then, something I didn't know could still break. I drove to the nearest bar, ordered whiskey, drank it, ordered another. The bartender was young, concerned. You okay, ma'am? My daughter-in-law threw my grandson's birthday present in the trash, so no, I'm not okay. That's cold. That's Vanessa. I drank 3 more before I stopped, stumbled out to my car, sat there until I was sober enough to drive. My phone buzzed. Victor. Where are you? Nowhere. Why? We need to prep for trial. Discovery deadline is tomorrow and I need you to review documents. I'll be there in an hour. Eleanor, have you been drinking? Not enough. I hung up. Drove to his office, walked in looking like exactly what I was, a 67-year-old woman at the end of a rope. Victor took one look at me and poured coffee. Sit. I sat. Talk to me. So I told him about Tyler's call, the birthday present, Vanessa's promise to make sure my grandchildren hated me. She's trying to break you, Victor said quietly. That's the strategy now, make you so miserable that you drop the case. It's working. Eleanor, look at me. He waited until I met his eyes. You can quit, right now, walk away. Let her keep the money. Go live whatever life you can build with $300 and a motel room. That's not a choice. It is. It's always a choice. You can decide this isn't worth it. And then what? She wins? She steals everything and faces 0 consequences? Maybe. Probably. He leaned back. Or you can fight. You can get in that courtroom and look her in the eyes and make her answer for what she did. Maybe you win. Maybe you lose. But at least you don't give up. I'm so tired. I know, but you're also the toughest client I've ever had. You're still standing when most people would have crumbled. That's worth something. Was it, though? Was moral victory worth this much pain? I didn't know anymore. The discovery documents were damning. 3 years of financial records laid out in black and white. Every lie, every manipulation, every dollar Vanessa had spent while crying poverty. This is what we show the jury, Victor said. This is what wins cases. Facts, numbers, proof. Will it be enough? Honestly, I think so, but trials are unpredictable. Juries are human. Sometimes they make emotional decisions instead of logical ones. So we could lose. We could lose. I looked at the stacks of paper. Years of my life reduced to evidence exhibits. Let's make sure we don't. We prepped for 2 weeks straight. Victor drilled me on testimony. How to answer questions, what to say and what not to say. How to stay calm when Vanessa's new lawyer, she'd found someone willing to take the case for a percentage of the winnings, tried to rattle me. They're going to attack your character, Victor warned. call you controlling, manipulative, say you used money to maintain power over the family. Let them. It's not true. Truth doesn't matter if the jury believes the lie. The weekend before trial, I did something I hadn't done in months. I went to church. Not because I was religious. I wasn't particularly. But because I needed to sit in silence somewhere that felt bigger than my problems. The church was empty except for an old woman lighting candles in the back. I sat in a pew and stared at the stained glass windows, tried to pray, didn't know how. The old woman came and sat beside me. Didn't say anything, just sat there. Finally, she spoke. Heavy burden you're carrying. How can you tell? I'm 83. I've seen that look before. She patted my hand. Whatever you're facing, you'll get through it. How do you know? Because you're here. People who give up don't come to churches on Saturday afternoons. She stood slowly. Have faith. Not in anything divine necessarily, just in yourself. She left. I never got her name, but her words stayed with me. Have faith in yourself. I'd spent so much time having faith in other people, in Caleb, in Vanessa, in the idea that family meant something. Maybe it was time to have faith in me instead. Trial started on a Tuesday. The courtroom was smaller than I expected, less dramatic than TV made it seem, just a room with wooden benches and fluorescent lights. Vanessa sat at the defendant's table with her new lawyer, a man named Richard Burke, who looked like he advertised on bus benches. Cheap suit, knockoff briefcase. She didn't look at me. Not once. The jury filed in. 12 people who would decide my future. They looked bored already. The judge entered. All rise. We rose. Be seated. We're here in the matter of Brooks versus Brooks. Opening statements. Victor stood, straightened his tie, looked at the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is about trust. About a mother who loved her son so much that she sacrificed everything to help him. And about a daughter-in-law who saw that love as weakness to exploit. He walked toward the jury box. Over the next few days, you'll hear evidence of systematic financial abuse, of manipulation, of outright fraud. You'll see bank statements showing $200,000 in payments, credit card bills showing the defendant living in luxury while claiming poverty. And you'll see proof that the $8 million lottery ticket at the center of this case was purchased with the plaintiff's money, not as a gift, not as a loan, as theft. What? He paused. Let it sink in. The defendant will tell you that Eleanor Brooks gave this money freely, that there was no agreement to repay, that this is just a bitter old woman trying to punish her family. Victor's voice hardened. Don't believe it. The evidence will show you the truth, that Vanessa Brooks is a con artist who found the perfect victim, a lonely mother desperate to be needed, and that she bled her dry without a shred of remorse. He sat down. Burke stood up, tugged at his collar. He was nervous. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is simple. Eleanor Brooks helped her family during a difficult time. She did so willingly, happily. And now that her daughter-in-law has come into money, she wants it for herself. He gestured at me. This is what we call buyer's remorse. She gave gifts to her family, and now she regrets it. That was his strategy? Gifts? Victor smiled. He knew we had them. The first witness was the landlord, a tired-looking man in his 50s who managed the rental property. Victor walked him through the basics. Who paid the rent on the property at 742 Elmwood Drive? Eleanor Brooks. Every month. Never late. And who lived there? Her son and his family. 4 people total. Did Caleb or Vanessa Brooks ever make a rent payment? No, it was always Eleanor. For how long? 3 years, 36 months of rent at $1,700 per month. Victor did the math on a whiteboard. $61,200, paid entirely by Eleanor Brooks. Burke cross-examined. Mr. Simmons, did Eleanor ever tell you she expected to be repaid? Well, no, but so as far as you knew, she was paying rent for family members as a gift? I guess so. No further questions. Victor called me next. I walked to the stand, took the oath, sat down. Every eye in the room was on me. Victor started gently. Ms. Brooks, Can you tell the jury about your relationship with your son Caleb? So I did. All of it. The divorce, raising him alone, the sacrifices I made, the love I had for him. And when he called asking for help, what did you do? I gave it, without question. Did you expect to be repaid? I thought about that. Really thought about it. At first? No, I just wanted to help. But as time went on and the requests kept coming and I saw how much I was giving, my voice cracked. Yes, I expected them to remember what I'd done, to appreciate it, to pay me back when they could. Did they ever indicate they would? Vanessa said it all the time. We'll pay you back, Mom Eleanor, as soon as we get on our feet. That's what she always said. Victor introduced the bank statements, the receipts, the proof of every payment. Then he showed the lottery ticket photo. Ms. Brooks, do you recognize this? That's the winning ticket Vanessa claimed on social media. And this? He showed my credit card statement. That's a charge at the same gas station, same day, same time, $73. On your card? Yes. Did you give Vanessa permission to use your card? For gas? Not for lottery tickets. Did she tell you she was buying a lottery ticket? No. Burke stood up for cross-examination, tried to look confident. Ms. Brooks, you claim you expected repayment. Do you have any written agreement, any contract? No, it was family. I trusted them. So there's no legal obligation to repay? There's a moral one. Moral obligations aren't enforceable in court, ma'am. Maybe they should be. Some jurors nodded. I saw it. Burke continued. You also claim Vanessa used your card without permission, but you just testified you gave her the card. For gas. How was she supposed to know you meant only gas? Because that's what I said. Do you have proof of this conversation? It was 3 years ago. I don't record every conversation. So we only have your word? Yes. Burke smiled. Thought he had me. No further questions. But Victor came back on redirect. Ms. Brooks, in your 30 years as a nurse, how many times did you document patient care? Thousands. Every shift. Why? Because documentation protects everyone, proves what happened. Did you document your financial support of Caleb and Vanessa's family? Yes. Every payment, every receipt. That's how we have all this evidence. So you're someone who naturally keeps records? Yes. And if there had been an agreement that this money was a gift with no expectation of repayment, would you have documented that? I understood what he was doing. Absolutely. I document everything important. And there's no such document, is there? No, because there was no such agreement. Victor sat down. The jury was watching Vanessa now, really watching. She sat there, perfectly still, but I could see the panic in her eyes. She knew. We had her. The trial recessed for lunch. I couldn't eat. My stomach was twisted in knots, hands still shaking from being on the stand. Victor grabbed sandwiches from across the street. We ate in a small conference room, him reviewing notes while I picked at turkey on wheat. You did great up there, he said without looking up. I almost cried twice. The jury saw that. Authentic emotion works in our favor. He circled something on his legal pad. Burke's going to put Vanessa on the stand this afternoon. That's when we bury her. What if she's convincing? What if the jury believes her? They won't. Not after we're done. He finally looked at me. Trust me, I've been doing this for 20 years. I know when we have them. But I'd trusted people before. Look where that got me. Court resumed at 1:30. The gallery was more crowded now. Word had spread. I recognized a few faces from the old neighborhood. Mrs. Patterson in the back row, giving me a thumbs up. Burke called Vanessa to the stand. She walked up slowly, head down, wearing a simple dress, no jewelry, hair pulled back. The picture of humble sincerity. She took the oath. Her voice was soft, barely audible. Louder, please, the judge said. I do. Stronger this time. Burke started gentle. Vanessa, can you tell the jury about your relationship with Eleanor Brooks? She was my mother-in-law. I thought she was my friend. Vanessa's eyes welled up, right on cue. I loved her. I trusted her. And she's turned my whole life into this nightmare. Can you explain what happened 3 years ago when you moved in together? We were struggling. Caleb lost his job. I'd just been laid off. We had 2 small children, and we were about to be evicted. She wiped her eyes. Eleanor offered to help. She insisted, actually. Said family takes care of family. Did you ask her for money? Never. Not once. She volunteered everything. And when you won the lottery, what happened? I was so happy. I thought finally we could stand on our own feet. I could pay Eleanor back for her kindness. Her voice broke. But then she demanded the entire jackpot. Said the ticket was hers because I used her card. That's when I realized she'd been keeping score the whole time. I gripped the edge of my seat. Every word was a lie. Every single word. Did you use her card to buy that lottery ticket? No. I used cash. I'd sold some old jewelry earlier that week. Had about $80 on me. Used $2 for the ticket. Do you have proof of this jewelry sale? It was a pawn shop. They didn't give me a receipt. It was just a few old rings I didn't wear anymore. Convenient. So convenient. Burke walked her through the credit card charges, the spa days, the shopping. How do you explain these purchases while claiming financial hardship? I was depressed. Really, really depressed. Sometimes I'd buy things to make myself feel better. I know it was wrong. I know it was stupid. But I was drowning, and those little purchases were the only thing keeping me afloat. She looked at the jury. I'm not proud of it, but I'm human. I made mistakes. Some of the jurors nodded. They were sympathizing with her. My chest tightened. And the trip to Miami you told Eleanor was to visit your dying mother? My mother did have cancer. She beat it, thank heavens. But I was so stressed about it that Caleb surprised me with a trip to help me relax. I didn't tell Eleanor because I didn't want her to worry. Lie after lie after lie, delivered with tears and trembling voice. Burke sat down. Your witness. Victor stood up, didn't even look at his notes. Ms. Brooks, you testified you never asked Eleanor for money. Is that correct? Yes. Not once in 3 years? No, she offered. Victor pulled out a document. This is a text message from you to Eleanor dated March 15th, 3 years ago. Would you like to read it aloud? Vanessa's face went pale. I don't remember that text. Let me read it then. Mom E., I'm so sorry to ask, but Tyler's prescription is $200 and we're completely tapped out. Is there any way you could help just this once? I hate asking. Victor looked up. That sounds like asking to me. That was different. That was an emergency. An emergency. I see. He pulled out another document. Here's another one. April 3rd. Mom E., the car registration is due and we're $50 short. Can you cover it? I promise we'll pay you back next month. He looked at her. Is that not asking? I meant we never demanded. We never forced her. But you did ask, repeatedly, despite just testifying under oath that you never asked. Not once. Vanessa's lawyer jumped up. Objection, argumentative. Sustained, move on, counselor. Victor didn't miss a beat. You testified you used cash to buy the lottery ticket, cash from selling jewelry at a pawn shop. Yes. Which pawn shop? I don't remember. It was 3 years ago. Approximately where was it located? Near our old apartment, I think. You think? So you don't remember the location of a place where you sold jewelry for cash? It's been a long time. Has it? Because you seem to remember very specifically that you used that cash for the lottery ticket. Victor walked closer to the witness stand. Isn't it true that you never sold any jewelry? That you used Eleanor's debit card to make a $73 purchase at that gas station, which included both gas and a lottery ticket? No, that's not true. We have the transaction record. One purchase, $73. Not 2 separate transactions like you claimed in your deposition. I must have remembered wrong. You remembered wrong, under oath, in a legal deposition. Victor let that hang. Ms. Brooks, do you know what perjury is? Objection. Burke was on his feet. Withdrawn. Victor pulled up another document. Let's talk about your medical records. You claimed you were too depressed to work, correct? Yes. Severe depression, anxiety, couldn't get out of bed some days. Yes. Did you see a doctor for this condition? I couldn't afford one. But you could afford $500 at a spa? Vanessa's jaw clenched. I was trying to take care of my mental health by avoiding medical professionals and going to spas instead. Self-care is important. I agree, but actual depression usually requires actual treatment. He held up the medical records. Your record shows 0 visits to any mental health professional during those 3 years. 0 prescriptions for antidepressants or anxiety medication. 0 documented evidence of the debilitating mental illness you claimed prevented you from working. I was managing it naturally, by spending Eleanor's money at luxury spas and designer stores while telling her you were too sick to get a job? Objection, Burke again. Sustained. Careful, Mr. Hale. But the damage was done. The jury was watching Vanessa differently now. Suspicious. Skeptical. Victor moved in for the kill. Ms. Brooks, you posted on social media that Eleanor won the lottery and gifted you the house. Why did you say that? I didn't want people to know about my windfall. You hear stories about lottery winners getting harassed. So you lied and said Eleanor won instead. I was protecting my family. By destroying Eleanor's reputation, by making her look like the villain while you played the grateful recipient of her generosity. I didn't think about it like that. No. You didn't think about Eleanor at all, did you? Not when you spent her money, not when you kicked her out of the house she was paying for, not when you threw her grandson's birthday present in the trash. Victor's voice rose. You thought about yourself, only yourself. That's not true. Then explain to this jury why you told Eleanor that Tyler needed emergency dental work and asked for $300, then spent $500 at Tiffany's 3 days later. Vanessa opened her mouth, closed it. I don't remember that. You don't remember a lot of things under oath, do you? Objection. Withdrawn. No further questions. Vanessa practically ran back to her table. Her mascara was running, her hands shaking. I felt nothing, no satisfaction, no triumph, just emptiness. Burke tried to recover with redirect. Vanessa, is it possible you're confused about some dates and details because this was a traumatic period of your life? Yes, absolutely. I was depressed and overwhelmed, and Victor stood. Objection. She just testified she wasn't depressed enough to need medical treatment. The judge rubbed his temples. Sustained. Ms. Brooks, please answer only the question asked. Burke gave up. No further questions. The judge looked at the clock. We'll recess until tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp. The gallery emptied. Victor packed up his briefcase. That went well. She's falling apart. She's a con artist who got caught. They always fall apart when the evidence piles up. He looked at me. 1 more day, maybe 2. Then it's in the jury's hands. I went back to the motel, sat on the bed, stared at the wall. My phone rang. Caleb. My finger hovered over the decline button, but I couldn't help myself. I answered. Mom. Just that. Just my name. And everything in me wanted to forgive him, to forget all of this and go back to pretending we were a family. What do you want, Caleb? I'm sorry. 2 words. Too late. Too little. Are you? Really? I should have stood up for you. I should have stopped her. I was weak and I was wrong, and I'm so sorry. He was crying. Please, please drop the lawsuit. We'll pay you back every penny. Just please stop this. Now you want to pay me back? Now that you're losing in court? It's not about that. It's about our family. Don't you want us to be a family again? Something in me snapped. Family? You want to talk about family? My voice was shaking. I gave you everything. My savings, my retirement, my home. I worked myself into the ground for you, and you repaid me by watching your wife kick me into the street without saying a word. I know I failed you. You did more than fail me, Caleb. You destroyed me. And now that it's convenient, now that you're going to lose, you want forgiveness? I laughed. It came out broken. No, I will not drop this lawsuit. I will not let Vanessa keep a penny of that money. And I will not pretend we're family when you proved we never were. Mom, please. I hung up, turned off the phone. Then I cried. For the boy he used to be, the son I'd loved, the man he'd never become. The next morning, Victor called his final witnesses. Financial experts who walked the jury through every transaction, showed the pattern of exploitation, made it impossible to deny. Then he rested our case. Burke put up Caleb. My son walked to the stand like he was going to his execution. Wouldn't look at me. Burke tried to paint him as a victim too. A man caught between his wife and his mother. Someone who'd made mistakes but didn't deserve to be punished.
Caleb, did you know Vanessa was spending money while claiming poverty? Not all of it, some. I thought she was just trying to feel normal. Did you encourage her to ask Eleanor for money? No, never. I hated asking my mom for help, but Vanessa said we had no choice. Liar. The text messages proved he'd coached her.
Victor cross-examined. Mr. Brooks, you testified you hated asking your mother for help, yet we have text messages showing you telling Vanessa exactly when to approach Eleanor, exactly what to say. Would you like me to read them to the jury? Caleb's face crumbled. I was just trying to keep my family afloat. By manipulating your mother? I thought she'd say no if she wanted to. I didn't know she was draining her savings. You lived in her house, ate her food, watched her go back to work at 65 years old, and you didn't know she was struggling financially? I wasn't paying attention. I should have been, but I wasn't. No, you were paying attention. You just didn't care. Victor pulled out a text. This is from you to Vanessa, dated 2 years ago. Hit Mom up for the water heater. She can't say no if we make it about the kids. Does that sound like someone who didn't know what was happening? Caleb put his head in his hands. I'm sorry. Tell that to your mother, not to me. Burke had no redirect. Caleb left the stand destroyed. He tried to catch my eye on the way back to his seat. I looked away. Closing arguments happened that afternoon. Burke went first. Tried to paint me as a controlling matriarch who used money to manipulate. Said Vanessa was just trying to protect her family from my vindictive lawsuit. It rang hollow. The evidence was too strong. Victor's closing was surgical. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is simple. Eleanor Brooks loved her son. She helped her family, she kept records, and when they betrayed her, she fought back. He gestured to the exhibits. $200,000 in documented payments, 3 years of exploitation, a lottery ticket purchased with her money, and a daughter-in-law who lied under oath rather than admit the truth. He walked to the jury box. The defense wants you to believe this was all gifts, but gifts don't require lies. Gifts don't require manufactured emergencies and crocodile tears. Gifts don't require someone to throw a child's birthday present in the trash to hurt the person who gave everything. Some jurors were nodding. Eleanor Brooks is here asking for justice, for her money back, for accountability. Don't let Vanessa Brooks profit from fraud. Don't let her get away with destroying a woman who only wanted to help her family. He paused. Do what's right. Make them pay back what they stole. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. 6 agonizing hours where I paced the hallway, drank terrible coffee, and tried not to throw up. Victor sat calmly reading a book. They'll come back, don't worry. What if they don't? They will. At 4:30, the bailiff came out. We have a verdict. My legs almost gave out. We filed back into the courtroom. The jury filed in. None of them looked at Vanessa. That was a good sign. Victor had told me that. The judge took the verdict form, read it silently. His expression didn't change. Will the defendant please rise? Vanessa stood, shaking. In the matter of Brooks versus Brooks, on the count of unjust enrichment, how do you find? The foreman stood. We find in favor of the plaintiff. My heart stopped. On the count of fraud, how do you find? In favor of the plaintiff. On the count of elder financial abuse, how do you find? In favor of the plaintiff. The courtroom erupted. The judge banged his gavel. Order! We're not done. He looked at the foreman. What are the damages? We award the plaintiff $200,000 in documented expenses, $8 million in lottery winnings as they were obtained through fraud, and an additional $100,000 in punitive damages for elder abuse. Total award, $8,300,000. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't process. We'd won. We'd actually won. Vanessa collapsed in her chair, sobbing. Caleb put his head on the table. Victor shook my hand. Congratulations, Eleanor. You just became a millionaire. But I didn't feel like celebrating, because even though I'd won the case, I'd lost so much more. My son, my grandchildren, 3 years of my life. The judge set a payment schedule. Vanessa had 30 days to turn over the money or face contempt charges. As we left the courtroom, Vanessa screamed at me from across the hallway. Are you happy now? You destroyed us. You destroyed everything. I stopped, turned, looked her in the eye. No, Vanessa, I didn't destroy you. You destroyed yourself. I just made sure you paid for it. Security escorted her away. Victor drove me back to the motel. You should celebrate. Get a nice hotel. A good meal. I just want to sleep. Fair enough. I'll call you tomorrow with the next steps. We need to make sure the money actually gets transferred. He left. I sat in my motel room, numb. I'd won $8 million. More money than I'd ever imagined having, but I'd never felt more alone. That night I got a message from an unknown number, a photo. It was Madison and Tyler, holding a sign. We love you, Grandma. Below it, a message from a number I didn't recognize. This is Caleb's sister-in-law. The kids miss you. They don't understand why you're gone. Just thought you should know they still love you, even if their parents are too proud to say it. I stared at that photo until I fell asleep. The money transferred 3 weeks later. Vanessa fought it, filed appeals, tried everything, but the judgment was solid. Victor took his percentage. The rest went into my account. I stared at the bank balance. $7,200,000. More money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. And I felt nothing. I bought a house. Not a mansion, just a nice 3-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood, paid cash, hired a financial advisor who set up investments and trusts, made sure I'd be comfortable for the rest of my life. Donated $100,000 to the hospital where I'd worked, another $100,000 to a charity that helped seniors in financial crisis. Started therapy twice a week, working through the betrayal, the anger, the grief. It helped. Slowly. 6 months after the verdict, I got a letter. From Caleb. I almost threw it away. But curiosity won. Mom, I know you probably won't read this. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need to tell you that you were right about everything. Vanessa and I are getting divorced. She blamed me for losing the money, said I should have stood up to you, made me choose between you and her, and I chose wrong both times. The kids ask about you constantly. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know how to explain that I destroyed the best person in my life because I was too weak to be honest. I'm sorry. I know it's not enough, but I'm sorry. I read it 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. Maybe someday I'd respond. Maybe someday I'd find a way to let him back into my life. But not today. Today, I was learning how to be Eleanor again. Not someone's mother, not someone's victim, just Eleanor. It was harder than I expected. I kept Caleb's letter in the drawer for 3 months before I opened it again. By then, I'd moved into my new house, painted the guest room a soft blue, and planted tomatoes in the backyard like I used to do 30 years ago. The house was quiet, too quiet sometimes, but it was mine, completely, legally, undeniably mine. I read his letter again on a Tuesday morning while drinking coffee on my porch swing. The same porch swing I dreamed about during those awful motel nights. The words hit differently this time. Less rage, more sadness. My therapist had warned me about this. Anger is easier than grief, she'd said. Anger keeps you moving. Grief makes you face what you've lost. I was facing it now. The son I'd raised was gone. Maybe he'd never existed the way I remembered. Maybe I'd created a fantasy version of him because the truth was too painful to accept. That he was weak, that he'd always been weak, and that I'd enabled that weakness by never letting him fall. I put the letter back in the drawer, but I didn't throw it away. Progress, I guess. That afternoon, Mrs. Patterson came over with a casserole. She'd been doing that weekly since I moved in, claimed she made too much food for one person, but we both knew the truth. You look better, she said, settling into the armchair I'd bought specifically for her visits. Less haunted. I'm working on it. Good. You deserve peace. She looked around the living room. This place is coming together nicely. Very you. It was. Simple furniture, family photos on the mantle, the real ones from before Vanessa, pictures of me and Caleb when he was little, my parents, friends from the hospital. No pictures of the last 3 years. I'd burned those. I got another letter from Caleb, I said. Mrs. Patterson's face tightened. What did it say? That he's getting divorced? That the kids miss me? That he's sorry? I sipped my coffee. The usual? Are you going to respond? I don't know. Part of me wants to. Part of me thinks it's just more manipulation. Maybe it's both. She leaned forward. Eleanor, I'm going to tell you something I wish someone had told me when my daughter went through her mess. You don't owe him forgiveness. You don't owe him another chance. You don't owe him anything. She paused. But you do owe yourself honesty. If seeing him again would bring you peace, do it. If it would destroy you, don't. It's that simple. Nothing about this feels simple. No, it never does. We ate casserole and watched the sunset. Mrs. Patterson left at 8, making me promise to come to her book club next week. I promised. Knew I probably wouldn't go, but appreciated the invitation anyway. That night I got a call from Victor. Eleanor, we need to talk about something. My stomach dropped. What happened? Nothing bad. Actually, something potentially good. Vanessa's attorney reached out. She wants to negotiate. Negotiate what? The money's already transferred.
Not about the money, about the house.
What about it?
She's living there with the kids. Caleb moved out. She can't afford the mortgage on her call center salary and she's about to lose it. She's asking if you'd be willing to buy it from her at a fair price. I laughed, actually laughed. She wants me to buy the house she kicked me out of? Essentially, yes. Tell her no. Tell her to lose it. Tell her to feel exactly what I felt standing in that driveway with a suitcase.
I can do that, or...
He hesitated. You could buy it. Not for her, for Madison and Tyler. Everything stopped.
What? Those kids didn't ask for any of this. They're about to lose their home because their mother's a criminal and their father's a coward. You buying that house would give them stability, and it would give you leverage. Leverage for what? Custody. Visitation rights. Whatever you want. Vanessa's desperate. She'll agree to almost anything to keep a roof over those kids' heads. I sat down. My hands were shaking. You want me to negotiate visitation with my own grandchildren? I want you to take control of the situation. Use your power for something that matters to you. His voice softened. Do you want to see them again? Did I? I thought I'd made peace with losing them, told myself it was better this way. But seeing that photo of them holding the sign, it had broken something open in me. Yes, I whispered. I want to see them. Then let's make it happen, on your terms this time. The negotiation took 2 weeks. Victor handled everything. I didn't talk to Vanessa directly, couldn't stomach it. The terms were simple. I'd buy the house at market value, allowing Vanessa and the kids to stay there for 1 year while she got back on her feet. In exchange, I got visitation rights. Every other weekend. 2 weeks in the summer, every other holiday, legally documented, enforceable in court. Vanessa signed. She had no choice. The first visit was scheduled for a Saturday afternoon. I hadn't slept the night before. Changed my outfit 3 times. Brought presents. The Lego set I'd tried to give Tyler for his birthday. A science kit for Madison. Victor had arranged for the exchange to happen at a neutral location. A park with a playground. I got there early. Sat on a bench. Watched families play. Normal families who didn't need lawyers to see each other. Then I saw them. Madison had gotten taller. Tyler's hair was longer. They were holding Vanessa's hands, looking confused and scared. Vanessa saw me. For a second, pure hatred flashed across her face. Then she smoothed it away. Kids, you remember Grandma Eleanor? Madison nodded uncertainly. Tyler hid behind his mother's leg. My heart shattered. Hi, sweethearts, I said softly. It's good to see you. Madison stepped forward. Mom said you were sick, that's why we couldn't visit. I looked at Vanessa. She had the decency to look away. I'm feeling much better now, I said carefully. I've missed you both so much. Tyler peeked out. Did you really throw us away like Mommy said? The words hit like a physical blow. Vanessa jumped in. Tyler, that's not... No. I cut her off, looked at my grandson. No, baby, I never threw you away. I love you. I've always loved you. Sometimes grown-ups have fights and it makes things complicated. But I never, ever stopped loving you. Then why didn't you come see us? Because I wasn't allowed to. But I'm here now. And if you want to spend some time with me today, I'd really like that. He thought about it, then nodded. Vanessa's jaw was clenched so tight I thought her teeth might crack, but she'd signed the agreement. She had to let them go. "I'll have them back by 6, I said. "Fine." She bent down, hugged both kids, whispered something I couldn't hear, then left without looking back. I took Madison and Tyler to the ice cream shop, then to the park, then to my house, where I showed them the guest room I'd set up for them. Twin beds with new blankets, a bookshelf full of books, art supplies on the desk. "This is for us?" Madison asked. "Whenever you visit. This is your room." Tyler climbed onto one of the beds, bounced a little. "It's comfy." "Good. I want you to be comfortable here." We spent the afternoon in the backyard. I taught them how to plant tomato seeds like I'd taught their father years ago. Tyler got dirt all over his shirt. Madison asked 100 questions about how plants grow. It felt almost normal. At 5:30, I loaded them back in the car. The drive back to the park was quiet. "Grandma?" Madison's voice was small. "Are you and Mommy friends again?" "No, sweetheart, we're not." "Are you going to be?" "Probably not. But that doesn't mean I can't see you. Adults can work together even when they don't like each other. We're doing it for you and Tyler." "Because you love us?" "Because I love you more than anything in this world." She thought about that, then reached over and held my hand. Vanessa was waiting at the park, arms crossed, face like stone. The kids ran to her, told her about the ice cream and the garden and their new room. She listened without responding, then looked at me over their heads. For just a second, I saw something in her eyes. Not remorse exactly, but maybe recognition, that I'd won, completely, thoroughly. I had the money, the house, the kids, everything she'd tried to take from me, and there was nothing she could do about it. "Same time next Saturday?" I asked. She nodded stiffly. I drove home feeling lighter than I had in years. The visits continued, every other weekend like clockwork, sometimes awkward, sometimes wonderful. Slowly, the kids relaxed around me, started calling me Grandma again without hesitation. Tyler told me about school. Madison showed me her science projects. We baked cookies and watched movies and did all the normal grandparent things I thought I'd lost forever. Vanessa stayed cold, distant, but she honored the agreement. I'll give her that. Caleb tried to show up one Saturday. I just picked up the kids when he pulled into the parking lot. "Mom, wait." I kept walking. "The agreement is with Vanessa, not you." "I just want to talk." "I don't." "Please, 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." Madison tugged my hand. "Grandma, that's Daddy." I looked down at her, saw the hope in her eyes, the confusion. "Get in the car, sweethearts. I'll be right there." They obeyed. I turned to face my son. He looked terrible, thinner, older, defeated. "I'm not going to apologize again," he said. "You've heard it enough. It doesn't mean anything anymore." "No, it doesn't. But I want you to know I'm in therapy, real therapy, twice a week, working through why I let Vanessa control everything, why I was so afraid of conflict that I sacrificed my own mother." He swallowed hard. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm just telling you, I'm trying to be better." "For the kids? For me. The kids deserve better than who I was. You deserve better. I can't change the past, but I can stop being that person." I wanted to stay angry. It was easier, safer. But I was tired, so tired of carrying rage around like a shield. "Good," I said finally. "I hope you mean it." "I do." "Then prove it. Be there for Madison and Tyler. Be the father I thought I was raising. Don't make them learn the same lesson I did, that you can't count on you." He flinched. "Fair enough." I started to walk away, then stopped. "Caleb?" "Yeah? I loved you. So much. I need you to know that. Everything I did, every sacrifice I made came from real love, not obligation, not manipulation. Love." His eyes filled with tears. "I know." "Good. Don't forget it." I got in the car, drove away. Didn't look back. Madison was watching me in the rearview mirror. "Are you sad, Grandma?" "A little, but I'll be okay." "Do you still love Daddy?" The question every child asks.
the one that doesn't have an easy answer. Love is complicated, sweetheart. I love who your daddy used to be, who he could be. Whether I love who he is right now, I thought about it. I'm working on it. That's honest. I'll always be honest with you, even when it's hard. She smiled. Good. A year passed, then another. The kids grew. Our relationship healed, slowly.
Vanessa eventually moved out of the house, got her own small apartment, continued working at the call center. We maintained a cold peace for the sake of Madison and Tyler. I never invited her to anything, never pretended we were family. We were two people bound together by children we both loved. Nothing more. Caleb stayed in therapy, started rebuilding his life, got a decent job, rented a small place where the kids could visit him. We were civil, occasionally warm, but the damage was permanent. Some things you can't come back from. On what would have been my 70th birthday, Madison and Tyler threw me a surprise party, just the four of us. They'd baked a lopsided cake and made decorations from construction paper. "Make a wish, Grandma," Tyler shouted. I looked at them, these beautiful children who'd been caught in the middle of adult mistakes, who'd lost years with me because of other people's choices, but they were here now, loving me, forgiving me for the time we'd lost even though it wasn't my fault. I closed my eyes and made my wish, not for the past to be different, not for Caleb to be someone he wasn't, not even for Vanessa to suffer more than she already had. I wished for peace, real peace, the kind that doesn't need revenge or validation or anything from anyone else. I blew out the candles. "What did you wish for?" Madison asked. "Can't tell you. It won't come true." But it already had. Because here's what I learned through all of this. Justice isn't always satisfying. Winning doesn't erase the pain. Getting your money back doesn't give you back the years you lost. But standing up for yourself, refusing to be a victim, fighting for your dignity even when everyone tells you to let it go, that changes you. Makes you stronger in places you didn't know you could be strong. I'd spent my whole life measuring my worth by how much I could give, how much I could sacrifice, how needed I was. Now I measured it differently. By my boundaries, my standards, my refusal to accept less than I deserved. The money was nice, the house was nice. Seeing my grandchildren was everything. But the real victory was simpler than that. I'd learned to choose myself, to say no, to walk away from people who only valued what I could provide. That's not selfish. That's survival. And maybe that's the lesson in all of this. The thing I wish I'd known at 65 when this whole nightmare started. Love shouldn't cost you everything. Family shouldn't destroy you. And the people who truly care about you won't wait until you're empty to realize your value. I sit on my porch swing now, watching the sunset paint the sky gold and red, and I think about the woman I was 3 years ago, standing in that driveway with a suitcase. Broken, homeless, betrayed. I barely recognize her. Not because I'm healed, I'm not. Probably never will be completely. But because I'm different. Harder in some ways, softer in others. I know what I'm worth now, and I know what I won't tolerate. That's power. Real power. The kind money can't buy, and people can't take away. Madison runs out onto the porch. "Grandma, come inside. Tyler wants to show you his science project." I stand up. Follow her inside. Into my house, my life, my peace. And I realize something that makes me smile. I didn't just get justice. I didn't just get my money back. I got myself back. And that, more than anything else, was worth fighting for. The story could end there. Neat, wrapped up, lessons learned. But life isn't that clean. 6 months later, Vanessa showed up at my door. Alone. No kids. No agenda that I could see. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won again. She looked different. No makeup, hair pulled back, wearing scrubs from the hospital where she'd started working as a medical assistant. "I don't want anything," she said before I could speak. "I'm not here to ask for money or forgiveness or anything else. I just needed to say something." "Then say it. You were right. About everything. I was using you. I did manipulate you. And I destroyed something good because I was selfish and scared and stupid." She looked at me directly. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I wouldn't forgive me. But I needed you to know that I see it now. What I did. What I took from you." I didn't respond, just waited. "The kids talk about you all the time, how you make them feel safe, how you listen to them, how you show up. Her voice cracked. I never had that. My mother was like me, always working an angle, always looking for the easy way. And I became exactly what I swore I'd never be. She wiped her eyes. I'm trying to be different. For them. It's hard. I fail a lot. But I'm trying. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know that you didn't imagine it, that it was real, that you weren't crazy for trusting me, and you weren't wrong to fight back. She started to leave, then turned back. And because those kids deserve to know what real love looks like, the kind that doesn't come with conditions or price tags, the kind you gave Caleb even when he didn't deserve it, the kind you're giving them now. She left before I could respond. I stood in the doorway for a long time, processing. I didn't forgive her. Couldn't. Maybe wouldn't ever. But I appreciated the honesty, the acknowledgement, the tiny crack in the wall she'd built around herself. It didn't change anything, didn't make the past hurt less. But it was something, and sometimes something is enough. I closed the door, locked it, went back to my garden. Because here's the final truth I learned. People don't owe you apologies. They don't owe you growth. They don't owe you anything. But you owe yourself protection. Boundaries. The courage to walk away when staying would destroy you. I planted tomatoes that day, watched them grow over the summer, picked them with Madison and Tyler in August, made sauce from scratch, taught them my mother's recipe, the one she taught me when I was their age. The cycle continues, but different this time. Better. Because I'm not giving until I'm empty anymore. I'm not sacrificing until there's nothing left. I'm just loving them. Healthy, boundaried, sustainable. And that's the real happy ending. Not the money, not the courtroom victory, not even the reconciliation or the apology. Just me, on my porch, in my house, with my grandchildren safe and my dignity intact, choosing myself every single day and never ever forgetting what it cost to learn that lesson.